shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a really cold start out there. Our temperatures are in the 20s, but there's a bit of a wind chill. I'll show you what it will really feel like when you step outside.
And the largest sporting event in Wake County gets underway in just a few hours. How college soccer players are preparing to compete in these frigid temperatures.
And the Detroit Lions have secured their ticket to the playoffs. We're going to show you the kick that won them last night's game against the Green Bay Packers. I was snoozing, couldn't watch that, but hey, good to have a nice little recap this morning. Hey, thanks for joining us here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingett in for Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. We are punching our ticket back to the Arctic cold. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with just how cold it is out there.
Yes, feeling and looking festive. All three of our towers lit up this morning. 27 in Durham and Raleigh. It is 26 degrees in Rocky Mount. Let's take a look at the wind chill. The wind chill is in the white box on the right. So it feels like 19 in Southern Pines and in Fayetteville. It feels like 16 in Goldsboro, 18 in Rocky Mount, and 19 in South Hill. Now, temperatures are likely to drop even more as we get closer to 7 o'clock. We'll continue to have a bit of a breeze and these chilly temperatures. Look at this. Our high this afternoon, only 41, and we made it well into the 50s yesterday. So a completely different feel for today. Tomorrow's also going to be chilly, but then we're going to show you a big turnaround with our weather pattern coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. Wake County is about to host its largest sporting event. The NCFC Youth Girls College Showcase is happening in just a few hours at 9:30. WRAL's Destiny Patterson joins us live from the WRAL Soccer Park in North Raleigh. Destiny, players and fans are going to have to figure out a way to stay warm in these temperatures.
Absolutely. Good morning. I've got my thermometer out here. Let me show you just how cold it is out here this morning. We are barely making it to 20 degrees there. Nearly 600 teams from across the country will be here this weekend. This is Wake County's largest sporting event based on hotel bookings and visitor spending. Last year, the series welcomed more than 72,000 visitors. It gives these young athletes a chance to meet college coaches from all over the region and compete against teams from across the country. But as you heard in our forecast just a couple of seconds ago, it's still going to be very, very cold for the players today. The NCFC Youth Marketing Officer says they'll have trainers on standby.
And I think for most athletes here, sometimes cold weather can result in more injuries. And so we're just going to make sure that they know that it's going to be cold and that they're going to be warming up.
She also says that they are going to be delaying the start this morning to make sure that the fields are free of any frost. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
In the next 2 hours, Wake County deputies will be raising money for the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics North Carolina, and they'll get to enjoy some Chick-fil-A while they're at it. WRAL's Nick Perlin joins us live from that Chick-fil-A on Fayetteville Road near Garner. And Nick, despite the cold weather, deputies hope people still show up to donate.
Yeah, it definitely should still show up. It is going to be cold, but in 2 hours, this does start at 6:30. But I mean, you can get a nice cup of coffee at this Chick-fil-A to help warm you up, and you can get to donate to the Special Olympics for North Carolina. Now, this event is being put on by the Wake County Sheriff's Office, and yeah, they're just hoping for a good turnout for people to donate for the Special Olympics North Carolina. It's going to be for a good cause. It does start at 6:30 and it ends at 2:30. So if you can't make it right at the start, don't worry, you have all until the middle of the afternoon to get here and show some support for the Special Olympics North Carolina. So that's where we'll be here, and we're going to hope to talk to some people who are going to brave the cold and try to show up here for a good cause early this morning. We'll let you know how it goes. Be sure to check back in with me. Reporting live in Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Today, we expect to see the new crime rate numbers for Raleigh since Chief Estella Patterson took over the police department in 2021. We learned just yesterday that Patterson will retire in March. She added officers to Glenwood South to reduce downtown crime. Patterson also led the response to the Hedingham mass shooting. Choosing her replacement will be a major task for incoming Mayor Janet Cowell.
Do you think Raleigh is safer now than it was when she first became chief?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Just in terms of the force itself, right? When you have 150 vacancies, obviously we were coming out of COVID, coming out of a lot of other community events, and I think we are stronger.
When Chief Patterson started, the department had 150 vacancies. Today, there are 60. That number will drop to 0 once current recruits join. Police salaries have increased by $5,000 on average. Cowell says she'll consider internal and national candidates for Patterson's replacement. She says the city will also gather community input.
3 days later, and still no arrest in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Last night, investigators revealed the shooter traveled on a Greyhound bus from Atlanta to New York. It's unclear if he boarded the bus in Atlanta or somewhere else. Authorities say he arrived in New York on November 24th and checked into a hostel. He left that hostel on the 29th and then returned the next day. But this time, he checked in with a fake New Jersey ID. Police released new photos of him yesterday in hopes that someone recognizes him.
We are working to learn who the 4 people are who died in a fiery head-on crash in Wilson County. It happened on US 301 shortly before 5 p.m. yesterday near Mobley Road in Lucama. The road was closed for hours as firefighters put out flames and cleared the wreckage. Investigators say a car driving south in the northbound lane on 301 collided head-on with another car. One car burst into flames, the other overturned.
Your time is 4:36. The Detroit Lions secured a playoff spot with a last-minute win over the Green Bay Packers. The score was tied at 31 when Jake Bates activated clutch mode with 2 seconds left to hit the game-winning kick. Look at that right there. It was a 34-31 win, and that put the Lions at 12-1, protecting the team's #1 seed in the NFC.
The NFL's Week 14 continues Sunday on Fox 50 and WRAL. The Carolina Panthers are on Fox 50 this week. They'll be in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. That game begins at 1 p.m. Then after that, turn it over to WRAL for the Sunday night football game. The LA Chargers will be in Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. That game will get started at 8:20. We could find out who UNC's new head football coach will be by this weekend. We'll tell you some of the names being floated.
And people in Erie, Pennsylvania are under a blizzard warning this morning. We're taking a look at how much snow they could get between today and tomorrow.
And we certainly will not get snow here, but temperatures may feel like it when you step outside. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us when things will start to warm up again.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:40 on another cold morning, 26 degrees in Wilson with a little bit of wind out there. The whirligigs are spinning fairly slowly, but it doesn't take much for it to really feel much colder with the wind chill. 27 in Durham, it's 28 in Fayetteville, but in a lot of places it is already feeling like teens, and it will continue to be very cold for us really all day long. 28 in Fayetteville, 24 in South Hill, 27 in Goldsboro. So temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 20s in most places, but we may see those temperatures falling a little bit more as we get closer to 7 o'clock. This is a look at our wind chill forecast for today. In the teens up until 9 a.m. At lunchtime, it will feel like freezing and only feeling like mid-30s this afternoon. We will see plenty of sunshine.
The snow in Erie, Pennsylvania has not been letting up. Look at that. The National Weather Service says the area could get up to 18 inches of new snow. The blizzard warnings in effect there will stay in place through tomorrow. Whiteout conditions and gusty winds led to school cancellations yesterday. City workers are even out trying to remove snow from buildings because there are concerns of roofs collapsing from the weight of the snow.
Strong winds are fueling a massive fire at a wood waste collection yard in Baltimore. This is a live look at the fire, which is burning near I-83. Officials say it could burn well into the day. The fire started shortly after 5 yesterday evening in a large storage area with trees and logs stacked about 30 feet high. Officials say so far the fire has been a challenge to contain.
President-elect Donald Trump is announcing several more nominations for his next administration. Trump named former Georgia Senator David Perdue as the next U.S. ambassador to China. Perdue is a former CEO of Reebok and Dollar General. Tech investor David Sachs will oversee artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency policy. Sachs hosts a podcast on which Trump was interviewed back in June. He was also the chief operating officer of PayPal in the early days of the company.
The woman who snuck onto a Delta flight to Paris has been charged as a stowaway. Svetlana Dali appeared in federal court yesterday. Her motive is under investigation, as well as how she got onto the flight. The FBI says Dali first tried to get through a TSA checkpoint, but without a boarding pass, she was turned away. 5 minutes later, she tried again and got through. They say she entered through a special lane for airline employees, blending in with the large Air Europa flight crew. If she's convicted, Dali could face up to 5 years in prison, a fine, or both.
A woman known as the Doomsday Mom, serving life in prison, will stand trial in Arizona. 2 court-appointed doctors found Lori Vallow Daybell competent to stand trial for the 2019 death of her ex-husband near Phoenix. Daybell is also charged in the attempted murder of her niece's ex-husband. She's already been sentenced to life in prison in Idaho because of the murder of her 2 children and conspiring to kill her husband's former wife. The trial is scheduled to begin in February.
A health insurance company will not be moving forward with the proposed change to its anesthesia policy after receiving backlash. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield represents people in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri. The company previously announced it would deny claims for anesthesia services that exceed specific time limits during procedures. Anthem said the change was part of an effort to make healthcare more affordable. The change comes after United Healthcare's CEO was shot and killed in New York.
Some families in western North Carolina are getting even more help after losing everything to Helene. A mother in Hendersonville lost her home and had nowhere to go. Lindsay Miller and her family stayed in their car and with friends while trying to figure out their next move. Well, that's when the nonprofit Emergency RV stepped in. After seeing the family story on social media, the wife of former NASCAR driver Coy Gibbs felt she had to help.
To make it as easy as I can for her and everything that she's gone through, everything her kids have gone through.
We don't have to have a cold Christmas. I didn't know where we was going to spend our Christmas.
Now they'll have somewhere warm. Emergency RV says more than 700 people in western North Carolina are on their wait list.
The town of Chimney Rock will reopen for one day only to celebrate Christmas, more than 2 months after Helene hit. You're looking at video from the mountain town back in October. Chimney Rock will open next Saturday, December 14th, to let visitors support businesses and see the progress made there. Christmas in Chimney Rock will run from 10 a.m. to 4 along Main Street. It will feature all kinds of festive activities, and guests are encouraged to adopt a shop to help the community rebuild.
There's a lot of talk about who will be UNC's next football coach. Inside Carolina is reporting that 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach Bill Belichick was interviewed. It's been reported that he wants to get back into coaching after leaving the Patriots. Tulane head coach John Sumrall's name has also been floated around there. The Green Wave are 9-3 this season and are playing for the ACC championship this week. And some, AAC. And some also think that Georgia Bulldogs defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann could be a candidate with this. WRAL's Pat Welter posted on X that he's been told the team will be given an update on the coaching search on Sunday. We'll see if any announcements are made to us by Sunday or even Monday.
The Carolina Hurricanes were able to break their 3-game losing streak last night. Canes hosted the Colorado Avalanche, beating one of the best teams in the NHL 5-3. The Avalanche visit Detroit on Saturday, and the Canes visit the New York Islanders.
All right, so a couple days ago, things were in the 20s when you woke up. Then things were in the 40s when you woke up. And then, Elizabeth, we're back in the 20s as we're waking up as things are right now cold below freezing in some places.
Oh, it's so cold out there. The last couple of days, yesterday it wasn't as cold. The day before, we got into the 20s, but we didn't have a wind chill. So this is, going to be feeling like the coldest morning of the week. It is 27 degrees right now. The coldest that we've seen so far this season was 2 days ago, and that was 24. And so we'll probably drop down to around that, but it'll feel even colder because of the wind chill. So temperatures in the 20s this morning. We do climb above freezing right around 10 o'clock, but it's still going to feel like freezing up through lunchtime. It is 21 in Roxborough, 26 Rocky Mount and Southern Pines, 28 in Fayetteville right now. And the temperatures, of course, are much colder than they were yesterday morning. Yesterday, we had that front come through. We had a southwesterly wind, so temperatures are, 15 to 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. It was a fairly blustery day yesterday. We had winds gusting 25, 30 miles per hour. The wind will be lighter today, just gusting around 10 to 15, but it is still going to really affect the way it feels out there, especially as cold as it's going to be. Our wind chill will be in the teens up until 9 a.m. It'll feel like 32 at lunchtime, and it's only going to feel like the mid-30s this afternoon, even with lots of sunshine. We have another cold morning on tap. 36 is our normal low. Tomorrow morning will be also very cold, and we're below freezing on Sunday. But then after that, it's like we move to a completely different place. 53 Tuesday morning, 59 Wednesday morning. We have rain in the forecast. We are not going to align the temperatures and the precipitation this time for snow. Our wind chill for Saturday morning is going to be chilly. 20 in Southern Pines, 22 Fayetteville, 22 Durham, 21 in South Hill. The winds will be a little bit lighter, so there won't be as big of an impact. But it's going to be a chilly day on Saturday. And if you're headed out to the Apex Christmas Parade, the temperatures should be on the milder side. We're looking at temperatures likely to be in the 40s. Sunday, a huge change. We're going to go from 49 on Saturday to 63 degrees on Sunday. Sunday is going to be the prime day of the next 7 to be outside. Even though it will be warmer as we get into next week, Tuesday in particular, looking at 68. We're also looking at wet conditions. We can see rain on and off for 3 days straight. I'll show you how much rain we may total up in the rain gauges coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. The DPAC has a holiday show running right now that you'll want to check out. We'll take you behind the scenes of Cirque du Soleil's 'Twas the Night Before show.
And Pearl Jam is coming back to North Carolina for the first time in 2 decades. The small list of cities that they're stopping at on their upcoming tour. A dog was reunited with its owner after it was missing for more than 2 months. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains how a group of strangers worked together to bring the dog back home.
Dakota here was reunited with his owner after going missing for more than 60 days. So it took 5 strangers, 3 hidden cameras, and a whole lot of meaty treats to get him back home. Go, Dakota! Go, Dakota! It's a bond that can never be broken. An owner and their beloved pet. For Sherry Codwell, losing her sweet boy Dakota was a living nightmare. She says she left Dakota with a sitter while she was out of town.
The sitter calls and says, hey, Dakota got away, ran off on our morning walk, and he wouldn't come back.
Weeks later, an unlikely group of strangers stepped in to help. One of those strangers, Kelly Walsh, spotted Dakota in her backyard miles away.
And he was on the far side in the middle.
After that, trained animal rescuer Jackie Larson joined the search crew.
Let's set up a feeding station here, meaning food and water, and a hunting trail camera, which works anywhere without Wi-Fi.
And there he was, Dakota, spotted on camera.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's my dog, that's him.
Got shocked again. A few days later, Codwell reunited with her sweet boy. A moment she'll cherish forever.
Come on, boy.
Codwell tells me she used social media sites like Nextdoor to put neighbors on alert. That led to social media posts about possible sightings on doorbell camera video, and ultimately it led to Dakota coming back home. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Oh, sweet boy Dakota. The Friends of Durham Library is hosting an in-person book sale today and tomorrow. It will be at Books Among Friends in the Shops of Hope Valley off of South Roxborough Street. Today's sale will be members only from 3 to 7 p.m. You can buy a membership at the door. You'll also get a 25% discount. Tomorrow will be open to the public from 10 to 4.
St. Augustine's University will hold its first December commencement ceremony, and it'll be held at 11 a.m. next Thursday. That's December 13th. It's happening at Wake Chapel Church. The speaker will be Retha Bogier. She's the founder and CEO of Bogier Clinical and IT Solutions. St. Augustine's normally holds commencement in May, but this additional ceremony is to make sure all students have the opportunity to celebrate receiving their degrees.
The city of Mebane is getting into the holiday spirit with a downtown Christmas parade tonight. Eastern Alamance High School football coach John Kirby will be the grand marshal. The NC-A&T marching band will play. And of course, Santa Claus will make an appearance. If you can't go in person, you can watch the parade live on the city's YouTube page.
Durham is feeling the Christmas spirit. The Cirque du Soleil's 'Twas the Night Before show is now running at the DPAC. Last night was opening night in WRAL. We saw the crews inside looking in there, getting prepared for that show as it went on. It's the production's first holiday show based on the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas. Cast member Artem Tikhonenko says this show brings back so many memories of his own childhood.
Well, honestly, like growing up, me and my family were a huge fan of Christmas. So being a part of like a really Christmas production and getting to celebrate this year after year has been really, really special. Families come every year. This is my second year.
And hey, you got plenty of time to go see it. The show runs at the DPAC now through December 15th.
Pearl Jam is coming to Raleigh for the first time in more than 20 years. The band will play 2 shows at the Lenovo Center on May 11th and May 13th. The 2025 leg of the tour comes on the heels of the band's new album, Dark Matter. The tour is stopping in only 5 cities. So the band will start in Hollywood, Florida, before hitting up Atlanta, Nashville, Tennessee, and Raleigh, and they will end in Pittsburgh.
Your time is 4:56. One of the hottest sporting events for Wake County is happening on this very cold morning. We're going to take you to the WRAL Soccer Park where fans will bundle up for the NCFC Youth Girls College Showcase.
A fiery crash in Wilson County closes the road for several hours near Lucama. What we're learning about the 4 victims this morning.
And economists expect a surge in job growth for November. Why experts think this morning's jobs report could signal good news for home buyers.